Hello and welcome to CLEA'S World. I am Clea, and today I would like to share with you more of the information I've received from the 25th dimension in my last BQH Beyond Quantum Healing hypnosis session. I'll be reading from a transcript, and when I refer to Lorrayne, that's the hypnotist who was asking me questions I prepared in advance of the session. And when I refer to me, I'm speaking of myself under hypnosis, which means that the answers are coming from the 25th dimension. I apologize. There's a little bit of noise in the background. Hopefully it's okay. I need one last. It was a plane, so we don't have that many go by my area. All right, before we move forward, I'd like to ask you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and do give this video a thumbs up. That really helps me. And leave a comment below the video, because we have a nice little community here and we're all growing through each other's experiences. So this is a great place to let me know if the stuff resonates with you, what you're going through, what does this look like from your neck of the woods, because the fact is we're all seeing different things, definitely interesting things going on out there. So we're creating a nice little tribe here. All right, I'm gonna start reading here. Okay, here we go. Lorrayne. Claire would like to know what the 5 resets were. Ice Age, Atlantis, Current Age, etc. And in what order did they happen? Me. Okay, so when there were no rules here, we arrived and everybody was the Wild West, basically, what we call the Wild West. Everybody could do whatever they wanted. Or I discussed the fact that we had the Anunnaki here. We had all kinds of people. We saw these bodies as being different, as being disposable. Not us, obviously. I mean, many of us. I mean, we're all one at the end of the day. So some of us, some of the aliens here thought these bodies were just tools, and so on and so forth. So that's when we came here, and that's when things started going south. So our reset was to say, basically, we're not going to do this anymore. We're going to have these rules that we've decided we're going to have, like, you know, just these bodies. And it's going to be like, again, paradise. We're going to have basically what we consider being happy. We're having a great environment. And then we had the reset of Atlantis. That was the first reset we had, where basically it was all about, you know, technology being used to enslave certain parts of the population. And then after that, we had the reset of the Ice Age, which was after Atlantis. It was basically when Atlantis came down, because it kind of, you know, destroyed itself. But really what happened is that we had, you know, they were preparing for another reset. Then we had, after that, we had the reset of what we consider history. So what, you know, what we consider ancient Egypt, the ancient civilizations, it wasn't quite what we think of it, in the sense of we still had a lot of technology, not as much as we had in Atlantis, but we still had a lot of knowledge. I should say we were still conscious of having a lot of knowledge, but even Egypt didn't last as long as we think it lasted. And it seemed that we were all living in much more peace. But right away, that started going south as well. And because, again, even in Egypt, they were still ruling classes, right? And again, the dark wanted the knowledge for itself. I mean, we kind of know how the story panned out. And after that, we had this. So we saw how that panned out for a while, even though it didn't take nearly as long as our history books make it look like, which was thousands of years. But then basically we got to what we call our modern era. And so we're in it. So those are the 5. Did we describe all 5? Lorrayne, you described 4. There's one missing. Atlantis was the first one, Ice Age, ancient civilizations in Egypt, and more modern era. Me. No, we had a reset before Atlantis. And they meant as we, because it was done from the light team, whereas the other 4 resets after that were done by the dark team. And we've spoken about this, I've made a video about this, so you can find it if you're curious about the details. So again, the 25th responded, no, we had a reset before Atlantis. Atlantis was a reset done by the dark. Lorrayne, oh, then the original experience here, transitioning from the Wild West, quote unquote, me. We did a reset. We cleared everybody out. We're going to play like this. We are going to play like this. And then, you know, that was a reset saying, okay, we're not going to do this anymore. And then right away, it turned into Atlantis, where they still wanted access to certain types of technology and all of that. So yeah, it was our reset. And then Atlantis, then the Ice Age, then part of what we think of as history, and then the modern age. Lorrayne, thank you. Okay, you told us that an angel can imbue its own imprint of energy on a body if the essence has asked for this to happen. But angels are neutral and don't have a purpose of their own. So why would an angel put its imprint on a body, and how would that affect the essence and the body? Why would an essence want this? Me. Yeah, so an angel does not decide to, it's not its own purpose to put its imprint on a body. However, an angel, because again, we've talked about this, angels have they amplify our energy. The angel will step in if an essence wants it to step in. And so why would an essence, so the question is, why would an essence want this? Simply, it's a form of energy that's available in the multiverse, and an essence might have something planned for itself to where it wants to be very powerful, and it wants to have the ability to amplify its energy, basically kind of built in, meaning that, you know, everything that I do is amplified immediately. Now, this works with every essence. We already said this. You don't even have to call on angels for your purpose to be amplified. But in this case, very consciously, the essence has said, I want this help. I want this amplification to happen. So that's why we wouldn't necessarily notice at a 3D level when this has happened. The person is no different. But at an essence level, the essence is wanting to have this experience, which is blend its energy or have this additional energy available at all times, be closer to it. Because the energy, the essence might be wanting to study that particular combination or what it can do in combination with the energy of an angel, but it wouldn't be an angel deciding to do this. Lorrayne, is this what's happened to, and here's the name of a person that I know, we'll just call her Laura. Did she ask for angelic assistance or amplification? Me. Yeah, and again, it's not assistance as in because she needs help. It's more like, this is the experience she wants to have. She wants to know how that feels. Lorrayne, thank you. Okay. You said that many on the dark side are going back to the 25th to reset and rejuvenate. Are they doing the same work there that we'll be doing on New Earth in terms of understanding how the process works? Or how does the process work in the 25th? Is it instantly understood that it's all equal? Me. Yes. So what they're doing really is more similar to what the people in 3D chambers are doing. The 3D chambers, in the 3D chambers, people have put distance, what they think of is temporal distance between between themselves and the problem, what they consider to be the problem, whether it be governments or what they could have done and that they felt guilty about, maybe taking the thing, because now they feel like fools, whatever that might be. And so they put temporal distance. So they're like, okay, that wasn't me. And the same thing happens when you go to the 25th. You put distance between you and the problem. So on New Earth, we already described that some of the problem will be our resistance to recognizing that it's all the same. But that's a shortcut when you go to the 25th. Basically, you realize because again, we're a collective, you realize how we are so distant from everything in the sense of none of it is really real. None of it really matters at the end of the day. So they will get their instant understanding. And because of that instant understanding, they will not have to deal with clearing or integrating the guilt and all of that. So yeah, it's a shortcut in that sense, which we don't mean to say, this is not meant to say they're being lazy and they were laughing here. They don't want to do the work. No, Simply, they want a break. It's too much for them to deal with this from a conscious perspective. And they just want to go back and be like, you know what? This entire game did not turn out the way I wanted to. Let me go take a breather and I'll come back in. They want that option. That's all. And that's exactly what happens. Lorrayne, thank you. Why was it only the 12,000 who knew that this lifetime is when the takedown would happen? Is it due to the logistics having been worked out? Did they tell everyone else and that's why others started aligning with their choice in this lifetime? Me. Yeah, so basically, yes, they were working out logistics, and also remember, because of their duties, they're always alert. So they never lose themselves in the game as much as other people. So a lot of people would come to this planet, and while they came because they knew this eventually was going to happen, they wanted to be fully here. You know this. You know how badly we want to be in the game here. When we come here, we believe all of this is real, and this is the only way to enjoy it. If we didn't believe it, I mean, what's the point of even being here? And that's exactly what happens. So everybody else knew that this was going to happen at an essence level, but then came in, forgot all about it because we didn't know how quickly we could set all this up. I mean, this has been logistics. Same way that you would have logistics in a warehouse, you know, on this planet. I mean, it just depends on what everybody's focusing on, what everybody's making happen. And so that's why it's only the 12,000 who at some point said, okay, this is it. We got it. We're ready to go now. Lorrayne, thank you. You told us that everybody wants commercial animal feeding operations because otherwise they wouldn't exist. Does it mean that every essence on this planet has to agree to them for them to cease to exist? Or is it a numbers game? I think this question was backwards. So does it mean that every essence on this planet has to agree to them for them to exist? Or is it a numbers game? Meaning if many want it, they will exist? Me. Yeah, so unfortunately, it is a numbers game in that sense. And that's the same thing we're explaining about the 12,000 trying to do things to avoid getting to this point. But if the collective, and when we say the collective, what we mean is if not enough people are interested in something, or a greater number of people is interested in trying something different, they will manifest, and there's nothing we can do about it. And the same with these commercial animal feeding operations. Enough of us wanted them where, I mean, all of us really want them. There's nobody who's really said no. But yeah, I mean, even if it hadn't been absolutely every single person down to the last one of us, this would have happened, yes. And let me tell you, this is a lot to take, especially for somebody like me. This has always been a scourge as far as I'm concerned. I've always been very aware of it since I was a teenager. So it's quite humbling to hear this, but it's actually helping me because this is one of the things that is more, I don't want to say more important. There are so many things that are wrong on this planet. I wouldn't even know what to pick. But this is something that's always been, that I've been very sensitive to. And because I really don't see the need for it. I'm like, I don't have a problem with people eating meat. But I don't understand why we need to torture animals to make that happen and make their short lives completely miserable. And so this has been important for me to get these messages because I know that's one thing I will have to work on that I've already been working on. And two is really because it does hurt so much when I think of it. It really is helping me understand what they mean when they say everything is equal and we're just doing certain things because we have to do them and so on and so forth, which again doesn't mean we're justifying what's happened here. I mean, clearly we're taking this down for a reason. Okay, it wasn't all fine, all right, in any way, but it's allowing me to understand, you know, where we come from and all of that. So, and again, the fact that nobody's really innocent in that sense. So that means we can stop pretending that we're better than everybody else. And I know this happens a lot. I mean, I see it out there a lot in the light community, in the you know, light worker community, where we think we're so proud of ourselves and we think other people are just not as good. I see this. I mean, this is the whole point of ascension, right? To have done all this work. I have these ascension symptoms because And I've been there. I'm not judging anybody. I am calling us all out, myself first and foremost, because I know this is where it comes from. We have wanted, and there was a reason for it. So again, no judgment there either. There was a reason why we needed to do this. In order to maintain the system, we have to isolate it and we have to judge. Okay, so we've all done this for a reason. We are not crazy. We did not just randomly decide to do this. But at the same time, for us to move forward and be a better community, a better civilization, you know, not better in, again, no judgment, just less unbalanced towards a negative polarity. Okay, we're using human terms, so we kind of are walking in a minefield sometimes. But basically, in order for us to get to have the balanced polarity we've always wished for on this planet, we're just going to have to stop pretending that it's us against them and to play this game where the other people are all absolutely 100% evil and we are all absolutely 100% perfect, because there is no such thing. All right, so I'm going to get off the soapbox here and I'm going to keep reading. Lorrayne, thank you. You told us that CLEA is spreading this information because we leave codes for ourselves so that we can find the truth. Just like Jesus left codes that have survived resets to this day. And by the way, I'm not comparing myself to Jesus. I was comparing the fact that he left codes. The 25th has said that what Jesus did, in addition to what he did during his life, is that he actually left codes that were actually left in the Bible by the dark team because they didn't realize they were there. Okay, so they've told us before that this is a code, that there are codes there are in these messages that the 25th is giving us. And so I'm wondering, how are these codes going to survive if we're taking the planet down? So, okay, so I'm going to reread this. So you told us that CLEA is spreading information because we leave codes for ourselves so that we can find the truth, just like Jesus left codes that have survived resets to this day. But now we're taking this planet down. How are these codes spread by CLEA going to survive? How are some in the future going to find out about these codes? Me. Yeah, so these codes will exist on your Earth. We will have, obviously they're inside of us now. I mean, they're here, they're inside the matrix now. And also there will be, you know, some people like to refer to the Akashic records. So they're written in the Akashic records, if you want to think of them as a repository of knowledge. So we already used the example that if somebody wanted to write a history book on the multiverse, they could go there and find this information. So this is not, it doesn't disappear. We already said that. Even just speaking it into existence has affected, is being heard throughout the multiverse. Not only, but we already also said CLEA will be spreading more information from New Earth. There will be many, there will be others, not just CLEA, but this will continue happening. So these codes are always going to be available and they're never going to be lost. They're not going to be retained here in a book form on planet Earth for the simple reason that planet Earth is going to be gone. But that doesn't mean the codes are going to be lost. In fact, these codes are reaching the chambers right now because there is no separation. We're all one. So the experience of one is the experience of all. So these codes are out there. And in the chambers, maybe somebody will write a book, will be like, oh, I channeled, you know, and they'll write a book. And there you go. And the codes now are in print form. And they were laughing. That's all. This is how we spread any information. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Take care.